getting arrested, man, and causing trouble, smashing cars.
Just all them smackheads up there, man.
Welcome to Shadsworth.
Just terrorising for like the past 2 years and that.
An estate where kids are growing up in tough times.
Do our space work?
No, just
And families are under pressure. Like Alwyn, a single mum on benefits who says she's unable to work.
Pissed off. She's got better things to do than keep jogging down here every couple of weeks looking for a job.
Life is already a struggle for her 8-year-old.
Well, my dad don't seem that makes me sad.
Like the Lancasters, where money is tight.
After rent, food and bills, how much is left?
On a Friday, probably about £2.
But who want a better life for their children.
Sometimes I cry about it.
Why?
Because it's not the way I want to live.
And like Sue and Ed, their eldest son already fears for his future.
What would happen to you in 3 or 4 or 5 years?
I reckon I would have ended up in prison.
And wants to leave the estate.
I do want him back, but he won't come back.
All of this when antisocial behaviour and drugs are at the door.
I know 12-year-olds around here that sniff bubble, it's dirty.
We meet the dealers.
How much is that?
20 quid.
Open doors to police.
And those whose job it is to stop them.
Drugs are readily available.
Well, does that mean you failed then?
No, not at all.
Is this a picture of broken Britain? We follow life on a tough estate.
Kids just grow up to be like their mum and dad now. It's not fair, is it? They're being brought up between drugs and hate.
Shadsworth is not some lost estate. It's full of families with hopes and aspirations. This swimming pool was saved by the people of the estate.
Our children use it every single day, and it was like, what will we do with the kids? You know, should they just be on streets and that?
Faced with cuts to the council budget, the plan was to shut the pool.
We decided to set up petitions to keep it open. We started all demonstrations.
They fought hard for the kids.
We have a lot of underage drinking and a lot of smoking and drugs.
Yeah.
It's such a big thing here, and it's more the under 18s.
And they won. But not everything can be fought so simply. The estate faces much bigger threats. There are problems here that can't be driven away by a petition or goodwill. Shadsworth sits on the outskirts of Blackburn in the northwest of England. More than 2,000 people live on the estate.
Everybody who lives here calls it Shad. Even before this recession, it was one of the most deprived areas in the country. We've spent months here with families who've shared their lives with us, each with their own story of life on one of Britain's poorest estates.
Thank you. We'll go upstairs now.
Alwyn Page is a single mum of 4. It's tea time and her youngest son, Oshi, is nowhere to be seen.
wonder where he's gone. Shithead, isn't he?
Olwyn was born in Kent but has spent 20 years on Shad. A series of difficult relationships have scarred her and her family.
Oshy! Told you not to disappear, your tea's ready.
I'm making me this.
What?
A bracelet, a gold one.
I was battered badly, and it's horrible, you know, and I look back now and I can't believe that I put my children through all that. You know, why I didn't get out the first smack in the mouth or the first headbutt. I didn't get out.
Doesn't matter, you get me up for now.
I'm not getting you up for now. It's not now, it's getting you up for nothing, and it's not nothing. It's going to college.
Two of Olwyn's kids have grown up, but two still depend on her. 17-year-old Alicia.
I'm going to paradise today, Mum.
Paradise, are you?
And 8-year-old Oshy. They have different dads, both are absent.
Is it nice? What do you mean, no? Taste the wine. I haven't put any wine in it. Yeah, I know.
But it's not better than William's.
Yeah, it is. You get his mum here and get her to make one, and then we'll see. Sod. People can look and say, oh, you've got 4 kids by 3 different dads, but they haven't walked in my shoes, you know. And it wasn't like just having children for the sake of having them. They all mean something. Try not to get that down your top, because it might stain.
No! No, don't stain.
It won't stain. I'll put it on a 90 or something. Oshy not seeing his dad, and he doesn't understand why. You know, he said, I think my dad's dead, that's why he doesn't come and see me. Do you want me to get your tea towel?
No, it's right.
I say, he's not dead, Oshy, you know. He's alive and he just doesn't bother with you. Take that off and I'll get you another T-shirt.
On average, per person, Blackburn has one of the highest welfare bills in the country. Olwyn lives on benefits. She gets around £1,100 a month to support her and her family.
All right.
Cheaper.
Put it back then.
Even for families with a wage coming in, it's a struggle.
You want me to push it?
Pork and pineapple kebabs.
Vicky and Andy Lancaster live on the street behind Olwyn.
The big one.
Vicky's been on Shadsworth Estate all her life.
You get these ones instead. You get 8 for £3.
Since the recession started, like the rest of the country, unemployment here has risen. For a time last year, both Andy and Vicky were out of work, and family life became much harder.
£1 for 3. So we'll get 6 for £2.
It's just like get paid tomorrow, get a shop, pay the bills, go back to work, do it, yeah, biscuit, and then do it again for another 2 weeks.
Time.
Do it all again.
You get 40 for £2.
Last a while.
Sometimes I cry about it.
Why?
Because it's not the way I want to live.
Vicky used to work as a shop assistant until being laid off.
I felt like my world had been shattered because we had so many plans.
She now stays at home with their 2 children, Libby and Leon. Andy had a job in a factory and now works part-time as a cleaner. But his is the only wage coming in.
How hard is it then when it's tight like it is now?
I get just short of £100 a week, and we put in enough gas and electric to last a week. We pay 2 bills and there's not much left really, is there?
So after rent, food and bills, how much is left?
On a Friday, probably about £2-ish.
It's half-term week, and further down the road, a front garden is full of children. This is the Morrison house.
Can be annoying sometimes, very annoying. especially when they start annoying each other.
Edward Morrison and Sue Kirkham have lived on the estate for 13 years. They have 4 boys aged between 10 and 15.
When we first moved on here, it was right nice and quiet, and after all these years, it's just gone bad.
Ed and Sue want to leave the estate. They think the longer they're on Shadsworth, the worse it will be for their boys.
Sort it out. No trouble around here. I'll beat fuck out of all of you.
It's just all their friends, the attitude of their friends. All of a sudden somebody's took the bike off him or stole something off him or stole his mobile phone off him. He's more determined to get away from this place.
I didn't want to move, but now all of a sudden I can't take it no more. I want to move. I've said to Edward, I'd like to move off here as soon as we can. I've got fed up with it. I can't take it no more.
That's a big up, this guy. Strong.
Is it proper strong?
Not proper strong.
The eldest of the Morrisons' 4 boys is 15-year-old Jordan. He's desperate to get away from the estate and the trouble.
When I was like 10ish, it used to be okay, but because I'm 15 now, it's gone pretty rough. What do I have to press? They'll be just going on the bike, pedal bikes, on skate ramps and that, and causing trouble.
See what? Please move on.
Vicky and Andy also worry about how their 8-year-old son Leon might be influenced by life on the estate.
Leon is easily led. He's at that age where if someone said to him, you do this, he probably would go, try, do whatever it is.
Alan's on again tonight, but you won't be able to watch it, because you'll be in bed.
We had to watch it anyway.
Some parents don't care what their children do. Graffiti on everything and harass other neighbours. One of our neighbours had just moved recently because of harassment.
Just across the road, actually.
You know, so obviously they don't care what they're doing.
But some find it harder to avoid the trouble. Like Stephen.
Just go out, stay to myself, and let everyone else be a pain in the ass.
He has learning difficulties and lives alone.
They try to wind me up, knocking at the door and running, or banging at the door, banging at windows and running. You're thinking, oh, he'll come out and give him a mouthful.
And how often does that happen?
Oh, mostly every night. They just like screaming at the top of their voices, big fat bastard, pervert, you name it, they say it.
And it's children, is it, that stand outside your house and shout at you?
Yeah. From 9 upwards, about 14 and about 14-year-old.
My biggest problem is this long hill right up the side of my house.
Or like Janet, who's targeted because of where her house is.
It's the throwing stuff over. I've been hit with stones, I've been hit with stones. People coming over and using it like a toilet. It's disgusting. I hate it. I absolutely hate where I am.
And this is what causes so much distress here. In Shadsworth, antisocial behaviour accounts for more than half of all incidents dealt with by the police. This group are throwing stones and sticks at houses.
Alan!
Jesse Volkert is notorious on Shadsworth as a troublemaker.
About age 14 and it growing up and that, watching all the older lots and that growing up and stuff. Obviously you want us to be like them and that, and obviously, I don't know, it's weird.
Jessie was part of a gang that for a time terrorised the estate. The police used antisocial behaviour orders to try to control them. Jessie is still on his.
We all say now, yeah, we're thugs, yeah. Obviously we want to sort ourselves out, but we've come from the gutter, you know what I mean?
The ASBO bans him from parts of the estate, but Jessie blatantly ignores it.
Do ASBOs work?
No, they're just fuck. I'm not allowed all the way around here, yeah. I'm not allowed up there. I'm not allowed up there or nothing.
Not allowed, are you?
Yeah, fuck them anywhere. I'm barred from everywhere. Every street, everywhere, except from one, except from a route home, innit?
Jessie and the gang were at their worst when they targeted the estate's shopkeeper.
From 10, 15, you know, outside, used to be loads. You know, shouting, screaming, you know, saying swear words. They throwed eggs on us. We were standing on the tail. It was really bad.
It was terrorising him all the time, like walking in, grabbing crates of beers and shit and just getting off and that. Just terrorising for like the past 2 years and that.
Sometimes racist comment as well. Black bastard, Paki, things like that, you know.
Did they threaten you?
Yeah, they did. They did threaten me at that time. They go and someone say, oh, we'll go to Bunji's shop.
Smile for the camera. Go on, have a smile.
Though the police crack down on Jessie and the gang, antisocial behaviour eats away at estates like Shadsworth, and families worry about their children getting sucked in.
Honestly, it's just got out of control, innit? It's like sniffing and that, you know what I mean? Taking coke and that every day and that as a kid and that, and it's got out of order and shit, innit? I went out for 4 weeks in jail and that, and I got recalled for 6 months, back to prison and that. Got back out, or out for 6 weeks, got recalled back to prison and that. Got back out, and I got done for possession of a firearm, innit? And fucking back in jail and that, and I'm out now, innit, on licence. Shit. I don't want none of that, fuck that. But I know I'm going to end up being back inside by the end of this week or whatever.
By the end of this week?
Probably, yeah. As long as I've stayed out of jail, how long have I been out now, Smith, for?
A week and a half.
About a week and a half, yeah. And surprised I'm still out.
And days later, Jessie was back inside, accused of theft, criminal damage and breaking his ASBO. Jake Walsh was part of Jessie's gang.
There's nothing to do.
What would you want to do then?
No.
Alan!
You can get on TV!
He was 14 back then.
Oh, he's got a camera!
Now he's 17, he lives off the estate, but still comes back to Shadsworth every day.
What do you come back to Shad for?
See my mates and my mum.
What do you do here?
Just hang around with my mates.
Billy! Get off the fucking plane heads of these!
What was your childhood like?
Crazy.
Why was it crazy?
Getting arrested, man. And causing trouble, smashing cars, smoking drugs.
What sort of age are we talking about?
Oh, when I started getting into trouble, about 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 12, man. First time I got arrested, I think.
And why? Why were you doing all these things?
I was bored, nothing to do.
Well, I get bored. I don't go around smashing cars off.
You're older though, innit? That's what kids do.
When did you stop doing that?
Getting took into care.
There are other ways of trying to control young troublemakers.
Got some skins. I've got enough. 4 for it. Oh, look, I'm going.
From the age of 11, Olwen's daughter Alicia was involved in antisocial behaviour.
Bye. Mucky madam.
I used to get in trouble a lot, get chases and that, like being with the wrong crowd. Like if you chuck your stones at windows and they come out and chase you. Like, because there were no to do, so we used to go around in gangs.
I'm not saying she was innocent. She was hanging around with them. To me, that was as bad as doing it. You know, which is what I said to her. Breaking people's fences, chucking little stones at windows, calling people, all sorts. I dreaded Alicia going out. I dreaded her going to school. I dreaded the phone ringing saying, can you come up? There was just no talking to her. Alicia and I, it was like we didn't know each other. Like she just was not my child. It was a really bad time.
Alicia's trouble causing on the estate only stopped when the family was warned they could be evicted.
Mum were going to lose her house. It got that bad. Like, so I had to stay in or else we were going to lose our house. And I just find it better. We just like watch DVDs and stuff and just showed it on my mum.
They just had me down with meetings saying, you know, if this keeps going on, then you will lose your house. Awful. Awful. I kept her in for 3 months. Thought if she's in, if I keep her in, she can't get accused anymore.
Bloody move. Not funny. Meant to be bloody holidays. Get to sleep in bed. How the friggin' hell can you?
Oh, stop being grumpy.
Not a try.
They'd been awake for a while.
Yeah, but I bloody weren't. Playing knock on bloody joy.
The Morrisons' eldest son, Jordan, has had enough of the estate. He's left the family home and Sue wants him back.
I do miss you, lad. I would like you back home, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Well, why can't you?
I don't know, Mum.
I used to enjoy your helping out. And you're going shopping with us.
Yeah, I'm going, Mum, so I'm watching Jeremy car.
Let me know.
Oh.
Hello, Margaret. Only 10 minutes.
Though he's only 15, Sue can't stop him leaving. He's moved to his aunt's a mile away and is now much nearer to his girlfriend. He says Shadsworth means trouble and he's determined not to go back.
When I don't go out, I just stay out of trouble and not get done right, so. But when I go out, I end up bricking the houses, I end up bricking cars.
Tell us what happened.
I was with my mates near a park and this car was coming past and I threw a brick and it didn't smash out, it just dented the side of the car and scratched it. And then they stopped, came out to me and said, good job that worked the window or something. And then if I had a passenger in, I would have killed him or something.
You're saying there's trouble on the estate, but the trouble that most people are frightened of is you and your mates.
Yeah. I've only come up here to get away from all my mates, and I've got new mates up here, so.
If you'd stayed on the estate, what would have happened to you in 3 or 4 or 5 years?
I reckon I would have ended up in prison.
That's too loud.
The Morrisons are also worried about their second son, Mark, that at 13 he too is on the wrong track.
It stressed me out that much at times. I feel like killing him. I think anybody would. So? This is what it's like with me. But if Edward were here, Edward would say, stop talking to your mum like that. He'll say, well, she deserves it at times.
So you wouldn't say like that. Dad will tell you to shut up.
He's the worst one a lot that really stresses me out.
Mark's behaviour has already got him into trouble.
He's had quite a few fights at school, hasn't he?
Yes.
He's hit a teacher on one occasion.
What did you think when you heard that?
I was shocked.
Grounded him, you know, and keep him in and stay away from his friends. You been silly again, Mike?
neurotoxins.
You hurt a teacher, didn't you?
Yeah.
What happened to the teacher?
I would be messing in queue, yeah. So then I went one day from my dinner and went home and started sitting.
What, in the face?
No, about there.
What did you hit him with?
My hand.
How old were you then?
12.
Oshie too has had problems.
No, I'm tired.
Earlier this year, he was permanently excluded from school and is now taught in a unit for difficult kids.
A reasonable day, but missed a lot of golden time due to having to finish work. Why are you starting to be naughty?
I'm not.
Alwyn thinks school hasn't worked for Oshie.
Not get your work finished then.
I didn't want him going to school. I wanted him with me. So he had a lot of time off.
What was going through your head to keep him off school? You must have known that was harming him.
No, because when they go to school, your children change. And I didn't want him changing. I didn't want outside influence in him. You know? I don't see why they have to go to school. I'm really anti-school.
Jordan Morrison has had problems at school as well, so 2 days a week he comes here to Fernhurst on the other side of Blackburn. Some of the children here have difficult backgrounds, exclusion, violence and antisocial behaviour.
Well, lads, you all right?
Yeah.
Where are you off to this morning? Are you not going out? No. Oh. Right. Hey, I saw you coming off the bike the other day. It was a classic.
George Sinclair is the head at Fernhurst, which steps in when children in local mainstream schools are struggling.
There are a lot of children whose lives are blighted by the addictions of the parents. Their lives are blighted by the fact that a lot of them have got difficult family circumstances, whether it's broken homes, whether they're the children in our care. There are a whole range of things that blight their outcomes.
Don't forget that this work that you're doing, you are pretending, lads, you are pretending that you were the instructor. You were in charge of a group. We're taking us out rock climbing.
I'm waiting for Ian to sort it out.
The classes are smaller and the kids learn through activities.
Risk assessment mountain biking. Come on, let's have a look.
It is more expensive to send children to Fernhurst, but should troubled kids get more resources?
It's about giving them encouragement and that hope that they can do it. It's very difficult to break down that cycle of deprivation, that lack of aspiration that's on not just the estates in Blackburn, but in many other estates in the country.
Chancellor, it's open doors to police.
The school can only do so much. Where the kids live is where the real challenges are.
The reason we've got a drugs warrant is we've got information that you've been growing cannabis.
On Shadsworth, the police are raiding a flat. They've been tipped off that drugs are being grown here. It seems the tip-off was right.
Before we carry on, I'm just going to caution you, don't say anything, have your question, do question. My question is something less really important, if you do say maybe giving evidence, okay? Are you aware of the plants in the back?
I'm aware somebody's using that room.
Okay.
Set up in the
yeah.
A little bit more.
He pleads horticultural ignorance.
Definitely cannabis.
There's a guy I know from a pub. He just said, can I grow some... I thought they were tomato plants or something.
Everyone we meet on the estate says drugs are pretty much everywhere, and not just cannabis.
Drugs are rife on the estate. They're everywhere. Cannabis, skunk, bubble, coke.
And do you worry about your kids growing up in that atmosphere?
Yeah, but if you know, you can only teach them, can't you? The dangers, the awareness. And I'm very open with my children.
Because you smoke weed, don't you?
Yeah, I do smoke weed. And I think ones that do smoke weed are just placid. They're just no bother, no trouble, because they're just chilled out all the time.
Vicky, you're in there.
You can give it us now, you fucking specky bastard. Don't take his ankles out.
All I've done is weed.
That's it.
And that's all I ever do.
Cannabis stuff.
Even the young ones know all about drugs.
You go on that park, yeah, on that football pitch, and ask one kid about drugs, they'll tell you everything about it, man. The kids just grow up to be like their mum and dad, man. It's not fair, is it? They're being brought up between drugs and hate.
So how much do the police know about drug use on the estate?
It's a very difficult question to answer, is that, actually. I would much rather prefer to say there are people living in Shadsworth who have drug addictions. Do people deal drugs on the street corners in Shadsworth openly? Very rarely would be my answer to that.
Well, this is a street corner on Shadsworth.
I don't know, you fucking 20 quid. What?
Outside the main shopping parade, a group are arguing about drugs.
20 quid? Why did you get another 20 quid off it? He said, do me a good deal, right? And he gave me 90 for 40 quid and I paid him. Yeah, I paid
Yeah, you give him 20?
20, then you give her 20.
Within minutes of arriving at the shops, we were offered some.
Right, it was.
Yeah, love some.
You after, aren't you?
Yeah, you got some.
Oh, of course I've got some there. It's just like everything.
Whiz, or amphetamine, is a Class B drug.
That's what I'm there, I'll do it for the car, you know, with it. Good tackle as well, trust me, mate. Trust me. Instead of just take it easy with that stuff, mate. It's ending me fucking out bend, honestly. Like burning me, something shit like that.
Yeah.
But there's one drug the whole estate is talking about, bubble. It's a cheap manufactured chemical that used to be legal. Now it's banned.
Bubble.
And is there a lot of that around, isn't it?
Everyone's on it. Everyone takes it.
This one?
No, I don't sing that either. I'm not a singer.
Simon is 18. So is his friend Danny. Anthony is 21. They've all grown up on Shadsworth.
Do you take it?
I don't take it, no.
Why do they all take it?
Because it's cheap and it's like a quick rush in it at weekends.
What does it do to you?
People sniff it, like crystals,
right.
And it's just dirty, horrible.
So when you say everybody takes it, what kind of age groups are taking it?
From like 13 to old men, innit? Everyone.
Is it everywhere on this estate?
Everywhere.
Where do they get the money from then?
I've lived in Shad all my life, and a lot of young ones do. They will go out and nick stuff for the drugs and that. And like Andy said, from 13, I know 12-year-olds around here that sniff bubble. It's dirty.
People sell their phones and stuff for it.
They'll swap anything they can get their hands on.
You get addicted to it, do you?
Everyone's addicted to it. It used to be like everyone was just on it at weekends, but now everyone's on it like every day.
Come here!
It's meant to go on my belly button.
Come here. You don't. Who wears things up there now? Simon Cowell, not you.
Olwen's daughter Alicia says bubble is just part of life here.
I smoke cannabis. I don't take no hardcore drugs, like bubble and stuff. It's like cocaine, but it gets you more wired, I think, something. Like you don't even need to have a lot of it. And don't know, it's dangerous.
Do lots of people take that?
Yeah. Like when they're drinking, because it sobers you up a bit, so they mix it.
And bubble was easy to get hold of. Outside the same parade of shops, we got talking to a man called Eddie, who says his son's a dealer.
I can get it all the time.
You can get it all the time?
Yeah. It's my son. Is it?
Your son?
Yeah. Yeah. I put everybody onto him. Do you know what I mean? He's the biggest dealer around here.
You got your... What, you have to get a tenner?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks very much.
Eddie takes us to a house and tells us to wait around the corner.
Sorted?
Yeah. Roll it out, don't. Because it is all crystals.
£10 for a gram of bubble.
Probably a good deal, huh?
Jay.
We want to meet the dealer.
What's the number? Just if you need it for me, I'll give you. Have you got a pen?
See you around.
Yeah.
Best.
Good, buddy. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
And 2 days later, we call.
What do you want?
Jane, I wondered if we could get a couple of bags.
You want two?
Yeah.
Our order is delivered by the man Eddie says is his son, Chris.
Get these two.
Oh yeah, nice one. 1 or 2? 2, please, mate.
Can you get the number?
How much is that? 20 quid. I think that's what I've got.
So I'll give you it.
We contacted Chris Mackenzie, and despite what we'd seen, he denied dealing in drugs.
We have recovered and seized, this compound from people up in Shadsworth, as we have done in other parts of Lancashire. It would be wrong to say on Shadsworth it's absolutely commonplace and everybody is consuming those types of drugs.
Our team was offered drugs.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me. But there are, relatively speaking, small numbers of people that are actually engaged in that sort of activity, and we do take action.
The drugs on the estate are cheap. A fiver's all you need. This is a poor area.
Mum!
Yes.
I'm having spam.
Nearly a third of people in Blackburn of working age are not in work. That's much higher than the national
It's
average.
split up money colour, that's why it's stressing, isn't it?
Olwyn's not working, and neither is her eldest daughter.
Hello.
Rhiannon also lives on the estate.
You look ever so pretty.
She too is a single mum to 6-year-old Ellie May.
So 2 weeks I'm going on holiday with my bag for you.
It's a poxy bus.
Olwyn hasn't had a job for 8 years. She's been called into the job centre and Rhiannon goes with her.
2 singles to town, please.
Because she's been on benefits for a long time, she has to attend regular interviews.
I haven't had one this quick, and it's normally been every 6 months.
It's only 3 weeks since Olwyn's last appointment. She's not happy at being called back.
Nervous, upset, pissed off. Why? I've got better things to do than keep jogging down here every couple of weeks looking for a job.
Olwyn's last job was working an hour a day as a school lunch assistant.
You only get paid for the hour, do you know what I mean? But because you're leaving at 11:30, that's half hour, you're not getting out till 1:30, so that's like really 2 hours work you've done. Do you know what I mean? You can't go to town in the morning and do what you've got to do because you've got to go to school at the dinner time to do your job. I don't know, I don't think there's enough incentive for getting back to work. It's just an headache.
Fucking horrendous, isn't it?
Yo. These days, man, it's hard to prevail. Even if you got more bars in a jail. Even if you really are harder than nails and they hit you like a hammer, man, your heart's gonna feel like broad neck.
Danny, Simon and Anthony are also not working.
The best except no one get kicked in the head. Who's gotta get guns? And that's all I'm doing, man. Because I fucking.
What does a normal day involve?
I wake up 8 in the morning, run bath. I have a nice joint while I'm in bath. And then we go to the gym if he's at work. And then, I don't know.
There's nothing. There's just nothing, innit? There's nothing for no one round here.
I don't know anyone that works hardly. There's about 3-4 people I know that work, isn't there? And they're not our age, they're like your age.
Oh. There's no jobs, yeah.
Everyone young from like 16 to 30 is out of work round here, everyone. There's hardly no one that works.
Why? Why does nobody work?
Because there is no jobs.
But there are jobs to be had, they just don't pay well. The average weekly wage here in Blackburn is one of the lowest in the country. When Andy Lancaster lost his factory job, he found work as a cleaner.
Took us ages to find a job. I got a cleaning job, it was the first one that came along, so I just took it. I'd rather have a job than look for a job.
Andy does 2 cleaning jobs a day, earning around £100 a week. Tax credits help people on low incomes. They double Andy's wages. But government spending cuts mean fewer people now qualify.
I got paid last Wednesday and my wage was gone by Friday. We're looking to go on holiday, but it's not going to happen. We just get the brochures, that's as far as we go, because we just can't afford. Just look at pictures, really. Hello!
Hi.
Huh? It's been alright, sweetheart. I'm glad I'm home.
Would you be better on benefits? Have you considered that?
Probably because you get more handouts on benefits. You don't have to pay rent. You don't no council tax to pay.
That does my head in because they're the people who can always afford things.
Yeah, they get handouts. I mean, I wish I could have a handout, but I have to work for my handout. If you know what I mean, it's daft.
Probably the majority of the people on this estate don't work, and the people that do work can't afford a lot, which I think is wrong, definitely.
Don't read out, man. Oh, have you put it on Facebook then I'm getting shy?
Well, are you not getting shy?
With average wages in this area so low, some don't see the point in working.
The jobs they've got are like just cleaners' jobs and stuff like that in Burnley. And you don't want that, do you?
Well, we interviewed a bloke, but he only earns the same as benefits to
Yeah.
do that. Would you do a job for the same as benefits?
No.
Why?
Why, when you can get benefits?
Exactly.
It's just common sense, isn't it? It's not a good way to think, though, like, but why go to all that effort?
Well, you could be working, the work ethic, that feeling you get when you go to work.
What, tired from waking up early in the morning?
But you earn a wage. Does that appeal to you?
It's only better off going to work if you're actually better off in the pocket.
There's nothing I want to do, and you're not going to put all that effort into something you don't want to do, innit?
What did you want to do when you were growing up?
When I was younger, I wanted to be a firefighter, but then I ended up being an arsonist when I was younger.
Olwyn is back from the job centre.
So, how did it go?
I feel relieved. I just think, right, they're off my back for maybe 8 weeks if I'm lucky.
If this lunchtime he had said, here's a job, start tomorrow morning, how would that have felt?
You would have said you're having a laugh. I'm on that much medication. I take antidepressants and have them at night, so therefore I'm tired in the morning. It's enough energy to get up and get the child off to school, to think about what's going on in the day, if I've got to go shopping. Just getting through every day. It's a struggle.
They've got no deals. These have deals on them, they haven't got any deals.
Even those with a wage like Vicky and Andy have to constantly juggle money to pay the bills.
20 on each?
No, we've had planning for the estate electric.
20, put 20 on each?
Put 10 on gas, electric.
No, put 20 on each.
No, 20 on gas and 10 on electric.
There's not much spare cash.
Can I have £20 on that one?
Any extra demand on the family purse brings problems, and in the past they've turned to doorstep loans.
We've got 2 kids to buy for. We were struggling.
On Leon's birthday.
Yeah, Leon's birthday is 2 days after Christmas, so we had to get extra loans in and stuff so we could get the extras to make their life happy, and we're still paying that back now.
But being in debt only added to their financial worries.
How much did you borrow?
500.
Over what period, can you remember?
Probably over about a year.
And how much did you pay back?
52 weeks. About £900 altogether.
So,
So like £400 interest.
Vicky and Andy don't want their children to struggle as they have.
When you think of the future, do you imagine that Libby and Leon will grow up and live on Shadsworth?
I don't want them to be on this estate. it's gone down this much in 30 years that I've lived here, what's it going to be like when they're older? I think it's going to be a lot worse.
I'd like to have a good education. The schools are good round here, so which is always a good thing, you know, and hopefully they'll go on and get a good life for themselves, you know.
I wish I had gone to college and uni, but it's just me. I couldn't be bothered, but I want them to go. Leonie always asks me, Mum, why didn't you go to college?
Try and score in there. You've missed one.
I need him to go and do something to better himself. So whether it be in this country or in another country, as long as he's successful in whatever he does, that's my main goal for them.
See, by the call.
There'll be no pocket money tomorrow. No, clean your teeth.
A few doors away, Olwyn too finds life difficult.
Are we done?
So difficult she gets special support from a scheme coordinated by the council. It's all about intervening early.
Come on!
Nationally, the government is rolling out a similar project to help 120,000 what it calls troubled families, who it says cost £9 billion a year.
Right, on. Is that not going to be too high, all those pillars?
Oh!
Olwyn is being helped with basic parenting skills, things like getting Oshie to sleep in his own bed.
God bless. Good night.
God bless, good night. I love you too.
I love you, Smelly Boss.
I was really down. I was at a place which wasn't very nice and felt I couldn't cope with the world and all its troubles. And they decided to put these people in place to help with me, to help with the family.
Oh, Oshie, do your spellings.
Olwyn has also been helped by the Housing Association.
Good boy. So. Good boy.
They got me carpets, they got me 2 skips, so I could have a clear out of absolutely everything. They paid for wallpaper, took me out to get paint. Just helped me, you know, so I could feel better in myself.
Oh, Osh, we're off now, darling.
Blackburn Council says it's got ring-fenced government money to help more families. But all services here are under pressure. The council's budget has been cut by 33 million, up to 1,000 jobs could go.
Super day, love you lots.
And as part of government austerity measures across all agencies, there will be more cuts.
You all right? You okay?
Hello. Sometimes
And Shadsworth, like everywhere else, will feel them.
very rare to catch him that way.
What have you been drinking?
Oh, England.
You've been drinking England?
French beer.
Right.
Lancashire police have had to lose jobs, more than 500 so far.
Don't swear, mate. Stop swearing.
Hey, that's
no
not
need for that, is
order.
there?
Don't really know him.
You don't know.
We've all got to be honest about this and say that we are in a different place than we were 2-3 years ago. The cuts are here for a purpose. We have to find savings in order to support the rest of the country.
Where are you off to now? You off home?
Yeah, he's going home.
In Lancashire, we have taken some staff off the front line because we've had no choice. But most of our savings currently have come from back office functions.
OK, Matt.
Do we
I'm going to
get
check
paid for
everything's
this
in
now,
order. You're free
lads?
to go. Thanks very much for your cooperation.
Olwyn too is worried about the future. Oshie's been out of mainstream schooling since he hurt a teacher and was permanently excluded from primary school.
On the Tuesday, he got accused of strangling a child. He was sent to this teacher, apparently shouted out, "You've had your hands around this boy's throat." He came in from school on the Tuesday evening and said he hadn't done it.
Come on, fight me. Fight me like a man. Fight me like a man. Oh.
He went on the Friday. Apparently he'd been in trouble with these children in the playground. They then wanted to send him to this teacher that had told him off for the Tuesday incident. He ran in the toilets. This teacher's gone in, pushed the toilet cubicle door. He's told her to F off, push the door in her face, bust her lip. I said, give up now. I give up. I give up, right?
Did you punish him when he was excluded?
No, I didn't punish him.
Boy, don't cry.
He knows what he did was wrong. It's no good me bringing him home here saying, well, you're not going on Xbox, you're not going out, you're not having any sweets. What good is that going to do?
Well, it might teach him a lesson.
Yeah, but he's just been thrown out of school. Hasn't he learnt his lesson there? He's not going to see his friends anymore.
Olwyn is considering homeschooling Oshie. The thing he wants most is to see his dad.
Well, my dad don't see me, that makes me sad.
When was the last time you saw your dad then?
When it was my birthday,
Why don't you see him?
because he couldn't be bothered to see me.
Do you miss him?
Yeah,
When do you think you'll see him next?
never.
Well, he might. How would that make you feel if you saw him?
Happy.
Do you think about it a lot?
Yeah.
What do you think about?
Because I can remember the times when he did see me.
What was it like last time you saw your dad?
Good. Well, not that good, because he only saw me for about 1 minute. When it was my birthday, he sat on the floor, and then when he sat on the floor, he just went, just gave me my presents, and then he went.
What did he say to you when he left?
Nothing. I said, can you come and see me one day, and he never did.
Oshie's dad told us he thought it was better to stay away.
Is it just t-shirts you need then, lad?
Jordan's back home, but only briefly, to pick up more clothes.
What have you been doing at Furness today?
No, just went back riding.
Can't behave.
Nope.
I've just explained to him that I look at that picture when I'm listening to music and I get upset.
So does it make you sad to see your mum so upset? Or...
Yeah.
Just please re-go down.
Okay.
Say excuse me, Joe.
Okay. Dad.
He leaves, back to his new home away from Shadsworth and away from his family.
I do want him back, Alex, but he won't come back.
Mark's even told him loads of times, hasn't you? Mum messages she wants you back home, hasn't you, love? And what's he said to you?
No.
He says, I'm not being funny, but no, I can't come back up, Shad.
Okay guys, let's go.
Jordan's in his last year at Fernhurst and he's on a school trip to the Yorkshire Dales.
We could do all sorts of walking, mountain biking. We've not long ago just come back from France, skiing. To do kayaking, gorge walking, caving, climbing.
So the last time we saw a pair of dippers was right at the top of Ingleton Falls, and the situation is very, very similar to this. Even though the kids live, for instance, like an hour away from here, if they don't actually come out with us, they would never even know that places like this existed. Bringing them out here actually makes them thrive.
Nice and quiet.
Why can't I get a job there?
Because you're at college.
Well, you could do nights, but...
Olwyn sees no escape for her.
Yeah, 6:02 in the morning. I'm stuck here. It's my own fault I'm stuck here. It's not the place I want to live or the place that I really choose to live. But I am here and I'm stuck here and I've got to make the best of what I've got. Do I look forward to anything? No. Am I happy about anything? No. I just live day to day. And that's the upbeat of it. I've got nothing to look forward to.
Is it coming off?
No. Too tight.
At the Morrisons, Ed says he needs to leave. He says he's got a house away from Shadsworth and is threatening to go on his own.
Well, I'm sorted. I've got the house sorted to move. But just see how things go with these. The two little ones are all right. You know, it's just Blue Mark the way he is. What's the big boots on for? Take them off.
I said to him, I said, your dad's embarrassed because of the way you are. Just take you to the new house. I says, and now when I go to this new house, I says, and you were spoiling it for it, really. Well, I reckon if I were on my own, if Eddie did leave, I reckon I wouldn't be able to cope with Mark. Others I'd be able to handle, it's just Mark I can't control. Mark's the only one I can't control, where Edward can.
Mark's brother's gone. Now his dad might go too. For these families, staying together, paying the bills, wanting more, life on the estate is a struggle. Shadsworth is no different to hundreds of estates up and down the country. A tough place in tough times. At the edge of where the state can make a difference.
A busy night for the custody officers in Hull later. The lockup at 10:35 here on BBC One. Comedy with Jack Whitehall standing in for the school football coach in Bad Education on BBC Three. And BBC Four is Scandinavia bound once again. An American mafia boss relocates to Norway in our new drama, Lilyhammer.